Now one more knot that everybody should really know is called a figure 8 knot. What it's going to do is basically take the place of your overhand knot, only it'll take a much higher load, and once it's had a very big load on it, it's very easy to untie still, even with some smaller gauge line. So let's show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a bite of the line. Here's the bitter end. Here's the standing part. So you're going to take a bite. You can do this anywhere in your line. So obviously this 15 footers are really long for tying down the corners of this tarp in this application. So it's handy that you can take, you know, whatever you need for line to get a good tight setup so I can stick a stake in the ground. So whatever length I need, put a loop, make a bite, and then all you're going to do is just like you were going to tie an overhand knot, okay, only rather than passing it through, you're going to take one more step. So you're going to take your bite, you're going to go over the top, around behind, and then through. And you'll end up with what actually looks like a figure 8. And that's a figure 8 in the bite. So one more time. Make a bite in the line, wherever you need it. Okay. You're going to go over the top, around the back, and then through the loop. And when you're pulling it tight, just make sure everything's sitting as it should to give you a nice textbook figure 8 knot. And that's what I used to stake down all 4 of these corners here. So let's go ahead and stake this last corner down. Now every once in a while you'll have a problem where your tarp kind of bunches along your ridge line, and when that happens it's really hard to get your tarp tight on all 4 corners. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your center guy out point, and using a prusik knot on your ridge line, you'll use that to make an adjustable knot to pull that taut and keep everything really tight. The way you do that's really simple. Let's show you how. So what you'll do to tie that prusik knot is you'll take a little, this I think is about 3 feet, take a little piece of line there. What you're going to basically do is put a ring hitch around it. So that's a ring hitch. That's your typical ring hitch there. Okay, now instead of just doing a single ring hitch, you're basically going to triple it up. Meaning you're going to open a loop around it, you're going to pass the 2 working ends through, okay, and then you're going to actually pass those working ends through 2 more times, kind of stacking them towards the center. And it's important that you keep them kind of nice and neatly stacked. Like so. And then what you'll do is you'll pull all that tight. It'll look like that. And what that'll do is it'll allow you to physically grab the knot and slide it up or down the line. But when you grab a section of the line here, it'll bite down and not let you pull it. It'll bite and it'll hold. So you can slide it here by grabbing the knot, but when you grab just a section of it, it locks on tight and it won't let go. So again, adjustable this way, but locks on tight this way. And then what you'll do is you'll tie this to the guy out point on your tarp, and you will slide that to keep everything tight. I'll show you in action. Okay, so here you can see I've already tied my prusik on this side. It's out about as tight as it'll go. Okay, what we'll do is we'll come over to the other side, and you can see I've just tied a real easy bowline around this guy point. Got my prusik knot here. You can see how it's all kind of bunched up and it doesn't really want to stay tight on its own. But you'll just take this pressing knot and you'll just slide it out. It just grabs right on. Keeps everything extremely tight. And then you'll end up with a really nice, this is just a simple A-frame. You can tie them up 1,000 different ways. But that's your basic setup for an A-frame for tarping up over a hammock. So what I've chosen for a hammock is this Eagle's Nest Outfitters or E&O hammock. It's a good hammock. It's not the best hammock on the market. It's not the lightest hammock. Hennessy makes really nice hammocks. Clark's makes really nice hammocks. There's a lot of really nice hammocks available. This one's just really inexpensive. You get a lot of bang for your buck out of the E&O. So this is the way I elected to go. I'm probably going to make my next one, but this one will suit the bill for now. What I used to tie off my hammock is this Amsteel. It's a 100% Dyneema, zero stretch. So stronger than steel cable and zero stretch. It's just a real pleasure to work with. What's really cool about having a line that doesn't have any stretch is you don't wake up in the middle of the night with a saggy hammock. Where you tie it off is where it stays. So that's really nice. And what I've done is, you can see I've spliced a permanent loop in one end, and then I just have a bitter end to tie off to around whatever I'm tying to. So let's show you how I do it. So tying off the first end of the hammock's the easy side. This is going to be your static end, no adjustment. You're just going to make it fixed to one side. All that's really important is that when you tie it off, that you make sure that your hammock's going to be just enough underneath your tarp setup to stay dry. So you don't want to have it sticking out too far. Either way, it has to come out right. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to just take your pre-spliced end, if that's what you have, or create a slip knot, or use any of the knots that I've already taught you to fix a first line to this tie point, to the static point. I just pass the bitter end through my splice, which just creates an adjustable slip knot, so I can put it wherever I want it for height, and then just pull it snug once I get it right where I like it. And then the way I make my first tie point for my hammock has carabiners on it, so it just clips right on. They're going to vary depending on how you do it, but this is how I do mine. Now remember the trucker's hitch I showed you? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have a trucker's hitch that's going to give me just enough clearance to get my hammock underneath my tarp. So it's, again, super easy to do. I'm going to throw a quick loop, and then I'm going to pull, because my hammock's going to be the side pulling, so you pull away from your static point. So all I'm going to do is real quick and easy, pull a trucker's hitch just like that, just right underneath my tarp. So again, you're going to take the line, pull a loop, pull a trucker's hitch through. It's going to give me a point to clip my hammock on. Real simple and easy. Now what I'm going to do to prevent this knot from wanting to pull tight around my carabiner is I'm just going to pull a quick half hitch in the bite, basically to stop that trucker's hitch from wanting to come out. And the way we're going to do that's real easy. So I'm going to make my trucker's hitch again. And you can see the way this wants to come out. When you pull on it, it's going to want to pull this line. So what's going to happen is basically we're going to take and we're going to tie just a little quick and easy half hitch in the bite, just to stop that from wanting to pull it. And now with that there, you cannot pull that loop anywhere. That loop is fixed. Yet still you're left with the ability to grab the standing end, pull that out, and pull out that trucker's hitch. So one more time. I'll pull a quick trucker's hitch in the line just to clip my hammock to. And then right behind it, to prevent that loop from moving, growing, or shrinking, I'm just going to make a bite, and I'm just going to throw a quick half hitch around there. That keeps everything secure. Clip right to there. So there's my first side. I'll show you the second. Now to tie off your second tie point, unlike the first tie point, which is static, on the second side is going to give you all of your adjustment to let you kind of shape it how you want it. It's going to allow you to, make it tighter, make it a little looser. Everyone likes your hammocks a little different. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hook to your hammock first. So because I've given myself these pre-spliced ends, I'm able to just clip right on. If you need to tie a bowl in, that's fine. Or if you want to use figure eight in the bite, that's okay as well. You're just going to have to hook the side up to your hammock first. What you'll do, because these trees are just about perfect in distance, I really don't need to do much for adjustment. I can pretty much just pick my height and go ahead and do a couple wraps around the tree. If you did need more line, if you did have more distance, what I would do is I would use trucker's hitch like I did tying the ridge line. What that will do is allow you to pull for tension and get it just exactly where you like it before you pinched it off and threw that little half hitch in it. But again, because this is just about a perfect setup as far as the trees go, I'm able to just do a couple wraps just like so. And then all I'm going to do, just to kind of cheat and make it easy on myself, is I'm just going to tie a little half hitch off to my carabiner as well. So I'll be able to go here, and I'm just going to do, you can see that okay, I'm just going to do just a little half hitch in the bite. Just kind of pull that tight, and that's going to keep everything snug and as it should be. Now this is kind of just your perfect little hammock setup that I found. I've been doing this for many years. I've been very successful in doing so. Everything holds really well, everything is extremely load bearing, and everything comes out with just a real simple tug of the line. You don't have to sit there and mess for, you know, hours or minutes or days or months trying to pry knots undone. You know, everything comes out real quick and real easy. So this is my hammock setup. Give you a better shot of it. You know, you can adjust the height of the tarp versus hammock. You know, for if it's really stormy, you'll obviously want everything really low, you know, to keep the wind and keep the rain from blowing in. You'll always want to coil your lines and get them up off the ground, kind of like I did here. A lot of times, if you want, you can tie them, you know, around your tie lines, and that keeps rain from traveling down your lines and getting everything wet. Also keeps the critters from being able to crawl across your lines and get over there. But a pretty straightforward setup, works really well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something from it. Again, thanks for watching. Jay Dilla, MinimalistSurvival.com.